Okay, so today we'll take a look at the Kenner AVP 2-pack. Okay, so this is the Alien vs. Predator 2-pack by Kenner Toys in the early 90s. I can't remember what date exactly this was released, but yeah, it was released in the early 90s, I believe. And this was a 2-pack and was more based on what you've seen in the movie. And this was probably this was as close as to the movie we're going to get. And now they did later release these two figures single carded, and those single card releases later on the line are actually a lot harder to find now, and usually go for a lot more money than these do. So I do have the full card back for this set, so let's take a look at that first. So here's the card back. As you can see, this card back is pretty large. As you can see, there's like a big burst right there, which is kind of reminiscent of G.I. Joe cards. They had the same kind of burst. On one end, we have a picture of the Xenomorph, warrior alien, as you can see down below. Now on the other side, we have the Predator, as you can see, renegade Predator. And he says the ultimate battle between beast and hunter, aim versus Predator. So flip around to the back. As you can see, there's some cross sales of some other figures that were available. Which I did already review the Scavenge Predator right there. Unfortunately, I do not have cracked tusk, but I do have one of the other Predators, or two of the other Predators here to show you. But I don't have either one of these aliens. Actually, I seen the Ajax at a flea market one time, but I didn't buy it because it was incomplete. I think it had none of the accessories. But I do have a few aliens, not none of the ones that are pictured on here, but I do have one of the aliens I couldn't find. I'll explain it later. But I also have the Ripley that goes in the power loader right there. And so on the bottom there, it shows you how to do the Predator's accessories. So I won't have to do a face reveal because it already done it for me right there. So there's a proof of purchase. So that's a pretty cool card. Going on to accessories, the Predator is the only figure in this set that came with accessories, and it had three. It had a blaster, which unfortunately I'm missing. That got lost years ago because this is from my childhood, but I do still have his spear, as you can see here. Now my fingernails are a little bit dirty again because I changed the water on my truck today, so I apologize for that. But as you can see, pretty weird shaped spear. I don't know how you would actually use a spear, but could hold it like that, I guess. Sometimes the artwork it shows I'm holding it this way. And now this set did come with a comic book too, which unfortunately I don't know where they're at. They're somewhere in storage. But he also comes with his mask here, as you can see, which is very important for a Predator, which I just dropped. But as you can see, it's got two pegs on the side, which is the way you put on the figure. But as you can see, it looks like it did in the first movie. So you take the Predator's head has two holes in it right there, as you can see, and you plug the mask into those holes, which that helps complete the look of the Predator there. And also the spear has like a little peg holster on the back of the armor there, so you can store the spear when he's not using it. So for articulation, we'll start with the Xenomorph first. So as you can see, these figures have very basic articulation. As you can see, that this figure has a pretty good rotation in his neck. He's got a hinge, a swivel at the arm, and a swivel at each leg. So that's pretty simple. Which the Predator's articulation is mostly the same, but his head is a little more hindered by his dreadlocks, and the plasma caster. But other than that, it's the same articulation. For the sculpt design and color of the Xenomorph, starting with his head, it's very basic Xenomorph design, from the movie, which actually captures the movie pretty well. This is more based off the first movie because he's got the dome instead of the ridged head. But if you take a flashlight, shot it there, you can actually see details on the inside of the head there, as you can see, like the ridging of the head, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, cool if they would have made this a removable dome, and you could have got a look at that better. But still, that's pretty cool that they, included the details on the inside of the dome there. But so going down his body has the biomechanical details. You got the silver teeth, which is kind of like a classic alien pose right there. And from the first movie, and you can see he's got the 6-fingered hands, or the 2 thumbs, I mean, because I guess he would have 6 fingers. Yeah, so the 6-fingered hands, and biomechanical tubes down each arm, and the tube on the back, which is a very more trademark. These are a little bit loose, as you can see. He's also got his tail, which goes all the way around. Which the tail, I forgot to add, does have articulations. This figure actually has 6 points, while the Predator only has 5. So, as you can see, the legs are stuck in a pose. There's no way. These figures were plagued by, stances and stuff like this, so there's no other way you could get this figure to stand. He can only stand in this position. And also, he's got the very alien-looking feet, as you can see, and which are not got a little bit of detail in there, but it gets the point across. It looks like he's got like a spur on the back of his heel there. It looks like a kind of like a boot, but with biomechanical details. And you can see like the individual toes on the foot there, but still it kind of looks like a boot with, like I said, with foot details on it. For the sculpt design and color of the Predator has a lot more colors going on than the Xenomorph did. The Xenomorph was all black except for the for the teeth. But as you can see, this one's got a lot of paint shading and detail going on, so he's got a lot more going on than the Xenomorph. So move the mask. Yeah. So as you can see, there is the Predator's face, which the Predator faces in this line were not the best, but they get the point across. As you can see, there's a lot of green and yellow shading on his head there. Kind of goes from yellow on top to kind of a darker green. He's got the thing around his neck, which is like a dark brown. All of his armor bits are a dark brown. So he's got a black stripe going down his chest with black dots. The yellow fades into a green on his back there, as you can see. And as you can see, the brown on his armor, there's a hole for a spear. He's also got the med pack on his back there, as you can see. The plasma caster is not removable, it's just a part of his arm there. But as you can see, there's his plasma caster, which is a pretty important piece for the Predator. And you can see the armor on his arm there is brown. Mine's a little bit dusty because he's been on the shelf for a little while. You can see his arm is in a bent pose. And his left hand is the only hand that can hold weapons, as you can see. And the gun would have went in between his pinky finger there. And you see there's some details on his wrist gauntlet, like where he would activate his self-destruct, if he was, defeated. The other one, you can see maybe where his wrist blades would be. Although this one doesn't have any wrist blades. See, he's got this open hand with 5 fingers, which have yellow and green paint. The green and yellow paint's a little bit sloppy on this hand, as you can see. And his legs, and you see the armor bits and the belt is all brown, but he does have a red sash on his rear end there, so they paint that red, which is actually a pretty good detail. As you see, the yellow and the green kind of fade in together. They've done a pretty good job of fading that in. That was kind of cool. But as you see, he's got the brown bits on his legs there. He's got shin guards, and he's got the big Predator feet with there's a lot of detail in his feet too. There's a lot of veins and like that stuff, like horns sticking out of his ankle and his back of his heel there. This foot is in a flat pose, while his left foot there is like in an arched up position. And before I go, there is pick holes on the bottom of his feet and a little bit of detail on the bottom of his feet. That looks a little bit weird because that's where he obviously stands on his foot there, as you can see. Okay, so here is this 2-pack Xenomorph compared to the Gorilla Alien. As you can see, I do have the Bull Alien, I think is what it's called, but unfortunately I have misplaced that figure. I can't find it. I don't know where it's at because I have a lot of stuff off the shelf right now because I've been reviewing it. So once I go to start putting stuff back on the shelf, I'll probably find it. But unfortunately, I couldn't find this review. But I did find the Gorilla Alien there, which I actually found that Gorilla Alien at the thrift store. And the cool thing about the aliens in this line, this could actually happen in the movies because a gorilla could get impregnated by a facehugger, and then the xenomorph that pops out of the gorilla could very well look like this. So the aliens in this line actually made a little bit more sense than the predators. Here is the Kidder one compared to the NECA big chap, which I done this and when I done a review on that big chap, and now NECA did do a tribute set of this exact same set right here. Unfortunately, I do not have it because it's very expensive right now, so that's why I don't actually have it to compare with here. But as you can see, the xenomorph, it's basically the same thing there, except that one of the 2-pack used the older style mold with the articulation cuts over the shoulders. But as you can see, it gets the point across. It's basically the same thing there, just like I said, just a little few differences. Here's the Renegade Predator compared to some other Kidder Predators that I have. I already done a review on Scavenge Predator, so if you want to go check that out, you can. But I also have Stalker Predator there on the end. It glows in the dark, and on the other end of Scavenge, that's a Spiked Tail Predator, I think that's what his name is. And now I don't have the NECA version of the Scavenge Predator or the Renegade, but I do have the NECA tribute version of the Stalker Predator and the Spike Tail. So I'll do reviews on those soon because I'm actually really anxious to do those. Because especially the glow in the dark one right there, the Stalker Predator. I lost his name there for a minute. I'm anxious to do that one because that's one of my favorite Predators from my childhood. I've had that thing forever. And then the second one I got was Renegade, of course. But as you can see, what I was talking about with Xenomorph, a lot of the Predators in this line were weird and didn't make any sense. But I like how NECA, when they started making tributes to these old Kenner Predators, they really tried to fit them into the Predator universe, actually give them backstories and help try to make them actually make some sense. But which I'll go over that when I do reveal the two NECA versions of Spike Tail and Stalker. Okay, so here is the Kenner Renegade Predator compared to the Ultimate Jungle Hunter from the '87 Predator film, and they say this figure, keyword is inspired by the Jungle Hunter, as you can see. It's not a one for one comparison here, as you can see, because the colors are different. There's a lot of things different with this figure. The colors of his armor, the colors of his skin, the weapons. The Jungle Hunter does have like the plasma gaster in his arm, and things like that. But as you can see, other than the same kind of armor and stuff, there's a lot of differences. The Renegade doesn't have the netting around his skin. They don't have the wrist blades, so it's not, like I said, not a one for one. So what do I think of this set overall? I really like the set, and I do recommend it. For somebody who is buying these to play with. These are actually pretty good, sturdy toys to play with. I got a lot of enjoyment out of them as a kid. But as a collector's piece, these are cool for collector's pieces. But they have really limited articulation. And they're stuck in one pose, so it causes balancing problems. Things like that. But I will say these figures are actually a lot sturdier than the McFarlane AVP Predators that were made, because those Predators in that line were some of the most fragile figures in the world. It's hard to find those figures not broken. But so if you'd like this video, see more Kenner figures, from the AVP line, give me a thumbs up. That help me a lot. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Till next time.